Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Tampa Honda, and guess what? I have that SUV redesign that you have been waiting for. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2026 Honda Passport, and this is the Passport Trailsport. But before we get into this redesign of their two-row mid-size SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. So Honda's doing the deal. They're going through their lineup, they're making changes, they're bringing back certain badges, and they're also creating new nameplates. Now, we brought you the redesigned Civic, the CR-V, even the big Pilot, but now it's the Passport's turn. This is a two-row, not a three-row, two-row SUV, and for the first time, they're giving it some real deal off-road credentials. On top of that, you're gonna get new technology and a whole new interior that's meant to be more useful for you. But what I want to find out is another iconic Japanese brand has also redesigned their SUV that competes with this vehicle, the 4Runner. So should you go 4Runner and get, say, a TRD Pro or a TRD Sport, or should you go with this Passport Trailsport? Let's go ahead. Let's dive into our Sunset Orange, new color, specific just for the Trailsport, and find out. Right off the bat, I love the return of a boxy, bold appearance. The vehicle is a little bit longer, it's a little bit wider, and it's a little bit taller. Also, the track, which is the space in between the front wheels and the rear wheels, has also been widened. That gives it more of a presence when it's sitting still, but wait until you take it off-roading. That's where you're really going to see the benefits. Now at the front end of the business, you'll see that all new face. We have full LED daytime running lamps, turn signals, and your LED headlights. That nice sunset orange color. Working our way down, we do have some flat black and LED fog lamps. And one of those credentials for off-roading, we have not only up front, but also out back, we do have tow recovery hooks. I like the way that they're powder coated orange. That is part of the Trailsport branding. And really for the first time, you really start to see Honda flex their off-road muscle because they know off-roading. They've done the Baja 1000, Baja 500, and won a lot of times in their class. It's nice to see them finally bringing it to the actual production vehicles. Now, as we come across the front nose, you'll see our new grille. I love the functionality, just a little bit of gloss black. You got your Trailsport badge. That's the Rocky Mountains in the background there. And then I like the way that they're stamping the Passport name right into the body work in that color match sunset orange. Obviously, there's a whole array of different colors, but if you want the sunset orange, you gotta go Trailsport. Flat black on the lower grille, with your functionality, like the way it's got this metallic silver midsection. And then you also have a functional lower grille as well with a little bit of that gray. Now you'll notice that you have not only one, but two tow recovery hooks. And then underneath, you have stamped steel. And the thickness of this is way more than the aluminum can that is on your, say, Outback Wilderness Edition. And it's even thicker than what's on a TRD Pro 4Runner. So, like I said, they're trying to up the ante. Now, with this vehicle, you do get a little bit extra ground clearance. You'll notice how they sculpted the front fascia is going to give you a greater approach angle and departure angle. But wait until you see what's underneath the hood. I think that's what's going to make you happiest. But let me know what you think about the face of the new Passport. Now, as we rise up, we do have a zonk. And it hits you like a ton of bricks. They did put this fake hood scoop vent. I wish this was functional. Why don't they make it functional? Because it looks good. I just want it to be functional. But you know what? If you look at a TRD Sport or a TRD Pro, they got the fake hood scoop as well. So maybe they're doing a little bit of Quienes Mas Macho on the fake hood scoop. I just wish it was functional. Other than that, you got a nice plateau with two lower portions on both sides. The other problem that I have with this is that this is not a Passport Trailsport Elite, which is the top trim. You got three trims. RTL, that's a new trim for 2026, Trailsport, and then Trailsport Elite. If you get Trailsport Elite, the forward-facing camera comes standard. This does not have a forward-facing camera, which to me is a bit of a bummer. Let me know how you feel about that in the comment section. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So for the first time, real deal off-road tires. These are those general grabber all-terrain tires. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of this wheel? It is an 18-inch wheel. Tires are 275 on the width, 60 series sidewall. You can see all the shielding in the sidewall, and then I'm gonna have Steven kind of zoom in and show you the all-new updated suspension, shock absorber, springs to give us better off-road and on-road handling. They increased the rigidity of the chassis for 2026, and you have an all-new stiffer, quicker ratio steering rack when you're behind the wheel. That's gonna also help improve the drivability. Now, I'm okay with this being the off-road trim. You got your flat black around the fender openings, and it's not too bad. The cladding is not too bad, but it's got a nice appearance, and the Trailsport does have a little bit more flair on the fender than the RTL trim. Now, as we come down the side, you do have gloss black on the mirror caps, LED turn signals looking good, and then I love our raised roof rails, nice and beefy. You could get your crossbars. There's a whole Honda accessory catalog for this thing where you could go nuts. Cargo basket, the whole 9 yards. Even add other exterior appearance options like wheels, and also wait until we show you some of the changes you could do on the interior. Now, you do have gloss black on the door handles. I'm okay with that because it matches the gloss black on the mirror caps. You have, of course, your flat black along the bottom, and then working our way towards the rear, I love the way that they put this flat black area. This is meant for people to take their fishing rods and to lean it up against the vehicle. You know, when you're unpacking and packing your passport, you want to have a place to put your fishing rods. Don't put them on the floor because you're going to trip on them. Don't ask me how I know that. Remember, you also have your all-wheel drive system, which it could send 70%. It's front-wheel drive base, 70% could come to the rear wheels, and then out of that 70%, 100% of the power could be sent to either wheel. That's the technology that Honda brings. Now, as we work our way towards the rear, love the way they got that nice, large quarter glass, and then it blends in nicely with the gloss black. You do have your LED lighting. Oh, here's my sunset orange towel to dab my face from all the sweat. We'll get rid of that. LED lighting, love the way they did that. I wish they would have done something with this wiper. Would have been nice to not have the exposed wiper. Let me know how you feel about that. You also have a flat black spoiler. Are you okay with that? I'm okay with it because it blends in with the flat black that they put on the rear portion of the roof. So I'm okay with that. The gloss black with the Honda badge. Of course, you're going to have your Trailsport badge. Remember the Rocky Mountains? Run for the Rocky Mountains. And then just like up front, they took the Passport name and stamped it in. Almost as like Shishiro Honda did it himself and stamped it. Now, as we work our way down, you're going to have your tow recovery hook options right on your tow receiver. All of your connectivity. And then lots of ground clearance underneath the vehicle, which is going to help with that departure. But let me know what you think about the exterior wrapper of this Passport Trailsport. Let's go pop the hood and see something I think you're going to like. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts. Underneath the hood, like I was telling you, is that thing you're going to like. It's not like a Toyota 4Runner where they switch from a V6 to a 4-cylinder turbo and a 4-cylinder turbo hybrid. We still have the real deal naturally aspirated V6 power. Now, it has been updated for 2026, so it is a 3.5 liter, still a 3.5 liter V6, but because it now has dual overhead cams, you got 285 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. It is bolted to a 10-speed automatic transmission with the all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. You could tow up to 5,000 pounds. MPGs around 18 in the city, 24 on the highway, and the vehicle weighs 4,705 pounds. Like I also said, they increased the rigidity of the frame, and the brake rotors have also been increased from 12.6 inches to now 13.8 inches to give you greater braking capability. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this V6 and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are in it. I can't believe it. Finally, 2026 Honda Passport Trailsport. Now remember, there's one more trim above this, Trailsport Elite, and there's one more trim below it, which is the RTL. Now I know you're saying, well, Joe, I've been waiting for this to come. I've been holding off on a 4Runner. I don't feel good about the turbocharged 4-banger. I want V6, baby, and I want it now. How much is this? MSRP for this particular one is right at $50,000. Let's see what Honda's bringing for 2026. To the door panels, I like most of the material. You got soft touch black along the top portion. Then you got this really cool trim that they did that's kind of like a smoky gray with some graphic in it. The thing I'm gonna zonk is the cloth. Why are we going back to cloth? Don't like it. You have the soft touch material with the orange Trailsport signature stitching. Nice large pocket there. You could put 2 jelly donuts. You even have a cup holder where you could get your big Yeti can or your Sasquatch bottle. Door pocket is a little on the tighter side, so maybe just keep it to 4 Egg McMuffins and that's about it. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the soft touch, I like the way we got our off-road Twinkie tray. Baker's dozen, baby. There's more of that cloth, not my favorite, with the stitching. Slide on in, you got the all-new 12.3-inch infotainment system with the whole Google Suite, Alexa, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. It is full touchscreen. Nice, easy swipes. It's got all the familiar things that you're used to seeing on your Honda vehicles. And you could also, of course, move the icons around to whatever your preference is. Here's where it's going to hurt. Are you ready? Backup camera resolution looks like it's from 1991. It looks like my dad's old JVC camcorder. Not good. You do have the trajectory, which is a blessing, but the resolution is just not very good at all. And you can move the camera angle. It still doesn't make it any better. But I do like the trajectory. Remember, because this isn't an Elite, it doesn't have optional Trailsport, which is sad to me for $50,000. You got a real volume knob. I do like the way they stamped the Passport name in there. You got your bright red illuminated start-stop button. Dual climate control with the orange trim. Heated seats, no ventilated seats for $50,000. You do have your little nook here for 3 boxes of Tic Tacs, 2 USB-Cs, a 12-volt wireless charging, a place for 4 Three Musketeers, 2 large cup holders. They really bring it big on the cup holders. This is going to control your 10-speed automatic. You got your different drive modes, which I'll show you this when you come to the business side with a little bit of Trailsport orange on it. There's our cup holders with that nice trim. Hill descent control. Same key fob that they updated. Looks good. Good size. Of course, it's got remote start on the back. Like the soft touch, don't like the cloth. Open it up, you got enough room in there to where you could put Wilson. Do you know who I'm talking about? Wilson! Yes, that Wilson from the movie Castaway. Somebody, I think, bought him in an auction for like $1 million or something. So you could keep Wilson in there so he doesn't float away. Seats, nice soft touch material. The Trailsport with the Rockies. Like the trim, don't like the cloth. You do have an electric assist on the passenger side. Electric assist on the driver's side, of course. That would be kind of weird if they did it backwards. And then you do have a nice power shade for your panoramic sunroof. But why don't you get your booty over here? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Passport. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have your electric seat controls, easy to get to. I also like the Trailsport all-weather floor mats. That's worth an extra 5 horsepower, and you can see they're doing a good job keeping the interior clean. I'm 6 feet tall. I got plenty of room in here, plenty of headroom. I'm feeling good. Steering wheel, we got the leather all the way around. The orange for the Trailsport. You got the Trailsport badge, a little bit of orange trim, paddle to go up and down the 10-speed automatic. Still not liking the cloth, no matter how much they put in here. Manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And then you got your 10.25-inch infotainment system. What am I saying, infotainment system? Digital gauge cluster, where you could scroll through a cornucopia of different information, including the all-wheel drive. And you got your different modes. So look at all the different modes. When you go trail sport, you got trail, sand. Look at this, when you go into trail mode, look at this. Cool, they give you a little elevation meter, your compass, sand. They should give you a shovel, and then tow. Remember, tow up to 5,000 pounds. Not too shabby. But why don't we go ahead? Let's get to that back seat. Oh, one thing I almost forgot. There is no head-up display in this trim. I'm curious if there's one in the Elite. But for 50 grand, that's hurting. Let's get in the back seat, though, so I can show you how much room there is for your passengers in this Passport Trailsport. All right, guys, back seat time. And this is the good thing about going mid-size two-row. You just open up all the space for passengers, and you're not worried about squeezing anybody into a third row. Now, you do have these large supersized pockets. You could go drive this to New York, to Brooklyn, get yourself some New York style pizza. Remember, it's thin crust, and then you fold it. If you use a fork and a knife, we can't be friends anymore. That's like taboo in the Italian world. People get kneecaps broken over that. Little bit of a command center. You do have your AC vents, 2 USB-Cs, and your home power source. I'm surprised there's no controls back here. I do like how comfortable everything is. Lots of headroom. Seats don't slide. Do they recline at all? Oh, you got to do it this way. This is kind of lame. So that's that, and then there. That's not much. And then you pull this down. Just enough room for your arm. Just enough room. That's it. So they squeak by without getting a zonk, and you got your 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead? Let's get into the cargo area, because I want to take this V6 Passport for a spin. All right, guys, cargo area time. Hit the button under the H. Electric assist, really nice. You're going to be greeted to a generous amount of room. And this is why I say, not everybody wants a freaking 3-row. Go get yourself a Pilot if you want a 3-row. 44 cubic feet of space, and look how well it's organized. You got these large nooks for gallon size of chocolate milk. Up here, you could put your survival Twinkies. And then the same story on the driver's side. You got another nook. You can get yourself some ho-hos, ding-dongs. You got a home power source here. Another nice nook. And then wait, we're not done. There's more. Check this out. Boom. You got your spare. Look at all the good storage area in here. There's an accessory you could get from the Honda catalog where you could actually get yourself a full-size spare with the off-road wheel and tire and have it mounted in the back here so it doesn't get everything all dirty. Now, if you want to put the seats down, the one zonk I have is there's no handles back here. There's no levers. You actually got to reach in and do it this way. Ugh. If you're on the shorter side, it might be a little difficult. Thankfully, I'm not short. Look how flat that is. Steven and I actually got a T-square, a level, and a protractor, and we measured it out, and it's almost totally flat. Almost. So pretty good to do those Costco runs. 84 cubic feet of space. You can get your big old gallon of mayonnaise that you like to have. Actually, not a gallon. What am I saying? That's not Costco size. 50-gallon drum of mayonnaise. Roll it on in there. But you know what? I'm ready to roll. Not jelly rolls. I want to go on throttle and see how this V6 Passport drives. All right, guys, we're inside this 2026 Honda Passport Trailsport. Right away, I love the interior, the way it's arranged. I may not be the happiest because of the cloth, but the way that they have it arranged in here really makes up for it. It's easy to get to that 12.3-inch infotainment system, especially with all the different features that it brings, including the wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, all those different goodies. Your digital gauge cluster, nice and clear. I have the actual all-wheel drive system showing. I'm going to shut off that pesky auto start-stop feature. You could shut that off really easily, all by the press of a button. But how they have all the switch gears situated is nice. It has that very Honda familiar feel to it, which I think a lot of people appreciate when they get behind the wheel. Everything nice and solid, because like I said, they increase the rigidity of the chassis. They also increase the amount of sound deadening that they're using. So even with the off-road spec tires, you're still gonna have a pretty good experience on the interior when it comes to road noise and wind noise. Now, if you go with an RTL trim, which is your entry level, that one does not come with off-road spec tires. So that would be perfect for the person that has zero plans or doesn't want the look of an off-road Passport. And I'll have that one coming up to the channel as well. But the 10.25-inch screen is very easy to configure, all by using the thumb drive controls. You could even bring your navigation onto the screen, which is a nice touch. Your range, your fuel, but I like to have that all-wheel drive because I like to see it working, how it sends power to the rear wheels. But having that naturally aspirated V6, we got a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more torque. You could definitely feel the quicker steering ratio, which is really nice. And it just feels solid in here. There's not a lot of gloss black, thank God. And it just, I don't know, it just has this nice overall feel to it. You got great visibility out the front, great visibility out back, all of the Honda sensing technology to keep you and your passengers safe. I'm just surprised that it doesn't have the Trailsport camera standard when you just go Passport Trailsport. But even though the seats have some cloth on them, I think that they're comfortable, they're supportive. They kind of redesigned the structure of the seat frame to help give you more support and not make you feel like you're sitting in a bucket. You know, have you ever had that experience when you're sitting in a seat and just your rear end just drops into like the black hole and you just feel all crunched up? I don't feel that in this Passport Trailsport. But I'll tell you right now, man, if you are not happy with Toyota bringing that 4-cylinder turbo and the 4-cylinder turbo hybrid, this V6 is gonna make you happy. It's got the linear torque delivery. It's got that nice smooth throttle response. You do have, for the driver's seat, 2 memory seat settings, which is great as well. And I'm just very happy that they brought the 12.3-inch, because that's the one thing that's kind of sad about the Pilot, is that when they did the redesign, they didn't have the 12.3-inch ready, I guess, and they went with the 9-inch. But I just love the broad hood, man. It just feels very muscular, nice boxy, strong appearance to it. And it's crazy because remember, the Passport has been around since the early 1990s. I graduated high school in the early 1990s, just to put it in perspective for you. But I'm really, really liking the changes. I mean, you can't argue with the larger brakes. You can't argue with the quicker steering rack, stronger steering rack, because they know that people that get this Trailsport, they want them to take it off-roading. This is a real deal. For the first time ever, it's not just a badge. This is a real deal off-road SUV. I think the one main thing that the 4Runner has going for it is that it's got the steel box frame that the Tacoma sits on, where this does not. But let's see how acceleration goes, shall we? Come to a dead stop here. On throttle, here we go. See the all-wheel drive gauge there? Very, very strong with that 3.5 liter V6. And even though we have the off-road version, Honda always is so good at putting some awesome handling characteristics into their vehicles. and just really, really smooth. You're not getting a ton of body roll. It's not all floaty and bouncy. It's really controllable, and I like the way that Honda did that. But you can tell how quiet it is. There's a little bit of road noise from the off-road tires, but it's still very quiet in here. Let's see how a U-turn goes, because that's always important in these types of vehicles. Nice, look at that with the steering wheel. Look at that, didn't even go off the road. I gotta applaud them for that. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna put it into sport mode, see how the gauges turn red, and we're gonna go on throttle from a roll. You ready? On throttle, here we go. On the brakes, those larger brakes. Really, really nice. Look at this. Does a great job with handling, controllability, drivability. I guess the other thing that the Tacoma is going to win on is MPGs. 18 in the city is, I mean, I guess it is what it is because it is a V6. Can't have your cake sometimes and eat it too. That's why I just go for a piece of pie. But still impressed, like I said, with the storage areas, wireless charging. Just it feels good to be in this new Passport. It really does. Way nicer than any of the other generations. But I'm hoping that you really enjoyed this overall review of this Passport Trailsport. We're gonna get back to Tampa Honda and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. Another great day in so many ways here at Tampa Honda. Got to thank the whole crew getting us access to their very first 2026 Honda Passport Trailsport. Let me know what you think. Are you going to get your Passport? See what I did there? Passport Trailsport over a 4Runner? Let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Got to get up to Stephen Flood. Even though he might show up late, he still gets the work done on time. So give him credit for that. Just help him with his Google Maps, and I think he'll be A-okay in life. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.